Hi, and welcome to the introduction of solving the underwriting puzzle using our underwriting decision software. That's right, you yourself can underwrite cases in 60 seconds or less. Again, welcome. My name is Joe Rasich. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer of Visionary Inc. Joining us today is Fred Taberry. He's our National Sales Director. My life over the last 40 years has been nothing but life insurance. So I want you to get ready for a great 2023 because I'm going to show you some software that's pretty revolutionary, and it's going to save you time and make you money. So again, thank you. One of the key points today is that price is important when you're selling life insurance. It always is, but underwriting truly is the key, because price, when it comes to people with impairments, they just don't go together. So how about if we find out what the underwriting of the clients is, and then we could find the best price for them. So this program is going to take the guesswork out of underwriting. Our program not only quotes, but underwrites 14,700 unique health conditions and 180,000 medications and combinations. This program is built to save you time and make you money, and more importantly, protect your client from declines. What's important is you never want to jeopardize coverage for your client. Many final expense carriers will not accept clients who have been declined in the past 2 years. So by not underwriting correctly, you can possibly prevent coverage for your client when it didn't need to be. So a lot of you may have final expense contracts, and you may want to sell that client a particular plan, but if you send that application in, and for whatever reason that client gets declined, it's confusing, it's a puzzle, then you can jeopardize your client's coverage into the future. So how will this increase my business? Well, first of all, did you know that final expense is the second fastest growing segment of the life insurance industry, just behind index universal life? And when I first looked at this, I said, all right, how many people can actually buy a final expense plan? So typically, not always, but typically they'll start at 50 years old and older. So over 117 million Americans today are 50 years old and older. Not 100, but 117 million. That's 35% of the US population. And that is projected to grow to 132 million people in the next 10 years. It will hit 157 million by 2050. So we're going to talk about a lead source. It's later on in the webinar. But I put that there just to remind me to talk about it. First of all, did you know, and I didn't, that there are at least 13 final expense carriers that no longer use height and weight charts? And in fact, some of those carriers offer immediate first day coverage without looking at their height and weight. How's that? So the question is, regardless of the client's health conditions or whatever their height and weight is, how do you find the best carrier and at what cost? So what you can do is maybe call the carrier or your upline, but how long is that really truly going to take? We have the solution. We have a solution that's going to save you time, it's going to make you money, and it truly is going to eliminate the frustration and the underwriting guesswork that you have to do every day when dealing with clients with some health problems. So, as a broker, you represent the client, and it truly is your responsibility to find the best solution for your client at the best possible price. So let me introduce Best Plan Pro, 59 plus final expense carriers and fraternals. And again, the offer that we're bringing you is an exclusive offer through Visionary Inc. So let me demonstrate. So for those of you who become subscribers, you're going to get a dashboard that looks like this, and it's going to be personalized. You could put your logo on it if you want. That's all up to you. Now, I just clicked off term, med sup, and pre-need. That's going to be coming very shortly in 2.0. You're going to be able to underwrite your traditional term carriers, med sup, and pre-need if you're in that marketplace. So some of the things I want to talk about real quick is the settings. You have the ability to manage your subscriptions. You could customize, as I mentioned, the program with your logo. You could set the available products that you want to work with. So in this case, and I click them all on except a few exceptions. Some products from carriers or carriers have gotten out of the business, so I don't want to quote them. So basically, we show all of them. All right. We show all of the different carriers. Now, you don't have to. If you only want to show the carriers that you are appointed with, you can do that. You can also see the prices of the carriers that you're not appointed with, which may motivate you to go ahead and get that contract with that carrier. You have that ability to do it through direct with the carrier, or in most cases, they will go ahead and refer you to one of their IMOs who they do business with. All right. So I call it, you got a guy. We get calls all the time. I got a guy, I got a gal. And they give us, the agents give us the health information, hopefully, typically not. So again, garbage in, garbage out. But what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about a particular client. Now, if you have the date of birth, that's best. But if you have the age, we're going to say we have a 60-year-old here, and it'll automatically fill in the date of birth as if they turned 60 years old today. Well, we have this female, and she's going to be 5'4" tall. All I have to do is hit 5'4", and it automatically puts in the height and weight. And we're going to say that this gal weighs 140 pounds. Gender is a female, and you could, what state is that client in? In this case, we're going to just pick Arizona. That's one of the states I've lived in. We have two choices here. We could either solve for price by putting in the face values of the amount that she's particularly looking for, or does she have a budget? So if she has a $60 a month budget or a $100 a month budget, it will determine exactly how much death benefit each of those carriers are going to offer. So in this case, we're going to just do it by face value. So all you have to do is, she wants to see 12,000. So you hit 12,000K, you hit the /, and you can say, well, I want to see a 15,000K quote, and maybe a 25,000. I'm not really sure, what that client wants, so I'm going to go ahead and check. All right. So you could restrict it. You could either, which I never do in the beginning, I don't restrict the results because I'm going to let the underwriting of 59 carriers determine whether or not my guess was right, whether or not they would get immediate coverage, graded death benefit coverage, or graded with guaranteed issue, no medical questions asked. So again, let's give the client the benefit of the doubt, and we're not going to restrict anything. So again, this is a very simple quoter. Quoters are a dime a dozen, and I'm going to run the quote. And it's going to take 60 seconds or less running through the 59 plus different carriers, and we're adding them and subtracting them all the time. So that's why right now it's okay. So we have a client in Arizona for $12,000, a nice, healthy female, 60 years old. And we have a number of different quotes. Now, again, I've got them all here. Whether or not you're appointed with these carriers or not, that's up to you. Decide what you want to do. So you get the 12,000. Well, that's pretty good. How about 15,000? Maybe she has like a $50, $60 threshold for what she can afford, and then 25,000. So maybe it was 60, but she can increase her death benefit by 10,000 by adding $13 to the plan. All right. Well, in talking to her, and this is where it really starts to get great. I love this part of it. Well, she tells me that she had a health condition. And I said, well, okay, tell me about your health condition. I'm going to ask that anyhow. You should be asking it. She said, well, I had cancer. I said, oh, okay, what kind of cancer did you have? And we've got them listed here because, again, every carrier has they have their own underwriting guidelines that they can determine what risk they want to take or not. Well, she says she had breast cancer. All right, so we've got that listed. Okay, breast cancer. Well, when was it last? Are you still under treatment, or are you still, or are you done? She says, well, actually, my last diagnosis was 3 years ago. So you just type that in, 3 years ago, because again, underwriting guidelines, you know, that some carriers are, hey, you have to be cancer-free for 5 years, 2 years, 3 years. You don't have time to search this all out. Okay, so she's been done. She had breast cancer 3 years ago, and we're going to save that information. So now let's see who's willing to take the 60-year-old gal, and we're going to go back to, let's start at 12,000. Now we're going to analyze the data. We're not going to just quote it. We're going to analyze the data. We're going to find out which carriers are willing to take this particular risk. Now, again, think about the time that you're saving. You're doing this at night. You don't have to wait and call your upline. You don't have to call the carrier. Well, Sons of Norway went away. You know why? They don't like that risk. But in its place, we see that we've got Aetna, Ascendo, Preferred, and you toggle right over this immediate and it'll tell you it's day one coverage. All right, so how much is 15,000? How much 25,000? Well, you know, maybe it's 15,000 that's better. Well, she tells you, you know, I started smoking again. I know I was a smoker before, but now I'm cancer free, and I have started smoking again in the last 12 months. Well, when you do that, it automatically changes the data here. Okay, it's analyzed data, so you're going to have to analyze it again. But look how quick this is. You don't have to go back and say, well, you know what, I found out she smokes, and so can you tell me if that's prices, you know, that you gave me is still okay? There's no waiting. Well, Aetna's still okay. All right, the price changed, right? We could see that the price changed because of the smoking status. And she says, you know what, I like that. Now notice, Aetna, in this case, is the only carrier that'll will give you immediate coverage for this gal. First day coverage. Everybody else, look at graded. So it's a little cheaper, it's a little less expensive. This is a company out of Boston, Massachusetts. It's a fraternal. They're a little less expensive, but they're not going to give immediate coverage. And she wants immediate coverage. Everything else is graded. So now graded means what? It's a percentage of the face amount. All right, so it's graded means maybe they're going to give you 30% of the death benefit. Well, in this case, it'd be $5,000. If she died in the first year, maybe it's going to only pay out 1/3, 30%, $5,000. If you're using 15,000. Okay, that's great. Second year, they're going to pay a higher benefit. They're all different. Now, if you scroll down, you keep scrolling down, now you're going to get to return a premium. And so if you want to sell her a graded plan because you're already appointed with AIG, I wouldn't do it because she can get immediate coverage with Aetna. But ROP means that if she dies in the first year, she's going to get, her beneficiary will get the premium back plus a percentage. Okay, so let's take a look at what you'll see. So we're going to give you some information here. First of all, in years 1 and 2, it's a return of premium plus 10%, unless it's an accidental death within the first 2 years. Then it'll pay full benefit, and in the third year as well. Well, maybe so. Let's go back up here. So again, we're listing all of this for you. We're going to click on Aetna. Now, maybe you're not appointed with Aetna. We're going to provide you with the phone number so that you can get appointed. You could call the company direct, and you could ask for a contract, or again, they may refer you to an IMO or a national marketing company or a GA in your area. So there's a number of different coverages. Okay, we could get preferred. Well, so far Aetna says it's preferred, but well, maybe during the underwriting process or during the application process, maybe there was something else and it came back standard. Well, we see what the price is for standard. It went up from $74.90 for 102. Well, she said, that's now a little bit too much. So you click it on 12,000, you click on immediate, and now that standard rate is a little bit more in her price range. You could change that again to 10,000. They have a super preferred if your client buys. Now, in this case, let's say they were 65 and over, they bought a Medicare supplement policy and they bought it with Aetna. Aetna will give you a discount if you have their program. And again, that's why we're going to have the Medicare supplement rates for you as well. And then they have a graded benefit plan. Hopefully you can't hear that, but I'm getting a phone call on my cell phone. Okay. So let me hopefully kill this. If you can, hopefully you can hear it. All right. And I'll just make sure this won't happen again. There we go. All right, apologize for that little delay. All right, so now she's going to go 12,000, and $60 a month is where she wants to be. You got a phone number for the client, whether or not you're appointed or not. If you're appointed, you can go ahead and just take the application by clicking this on. We're going to take you right to their website. You log in, okay? You put your agent number in there, and it'll bring up their e-app, or you could print out a paper app if they accept a paper app. And in this case, you can see here, it's paper app or e-app. Some carriers will only do e-app. Again, we're trying to cover all bases as much as possible. So telephone interview, they will want a phone interview. So again, you're going to find some carriers that don't require a phone interview. All right, and just that I say that, Royal Arcanum, which is a graded plan, not immediate, but they don't do a phone interview. All right, so now we've got some prices. Well, you know what? She tells you that she smokes. You got a smoker rate. We're ready to go. All right, you see how easy that is? Well, you want to send that to her. So you can email this data to your client. You can copy the data. You could put it in your database. You're going to save the data. Maybe you're going to come back to it at a later time. You have all of that information. You can get a link if you want to store a URL link for the program. So we've got it all covered for you. All right, we're going to do one more. And what we're going to say now, we're going to clear the data. Let me see, cancel this. We're going to clear all the data that's here. And it's going to say, oh, are you sure you want to clear it? Yes. All right, so we're going to start all fresh. Again, we're going to only go, and we got an age 0 here, but let's say we're going to talk about that overweight fella. He's 58 years old. All right. And he's 5'10". You just hit 510. And he is 420 pounds. So we're going to say a male. He lives in another state that I was born in, actually. We're going to just use Indiana. And we'll say that he's got $150 a month to spend. That's it. And you can just run the quote. So we know this gentleman right now is overweight, so we're going to run the quote. How much do you want to spend for your life insurance? Remember, he called you and you're going, oh boy, where am I going to put this guy? He's morbidly overweight. And now you can find it. So Great Western, good company. Now that's in face amount. So that $150 a month can provide him with $36,821 of death benefit. All right, which is a lot. I think they'll go to 40,000. Okay, and again, underwriting guidelines will be available to anybody who gets contracted with these carriers. All right, so that's going to show you this scenario. So we know exactly how much each carrier will provide. Again, so Royal Neighbors will only go to the max 30,000. You can see that just by the even numbers. Okay, so we're going to change this now, and we're going to just say he wants 25,000. He wants 25,000 of coverage, and now we're going to run it. Okay, that was fast. So that 25,000 is going to cost him $102 a month. Well, in talking to him, he said, well, I got to fess up. He goes, you know, I am overweight, and I do have a health problem. Okay, what is that? He said, I have diabetes. Okay, now again, I can't say this enough. The more they know about their own health, the better it is. A1C is what insurance companies are more concerned about than either a really good or bad sugar level, because it'll go, A1C is kind of going to give you an idea of what the last 90 days was like. So the higher the A1C, it's not so good, but we're going to say diabetes. So we're going to click that on, and the treatment is ongoing, and we're going to save that. Well, if you're a diabetic, how about medication? What medications are you going to take? So remember, it's prescribed. He was prescribed because he is a diabetic. Oops, if I could spell it right. So I'm going to click diabetes, and lo and behold, it's going to list every single prescription that a doctor can prescribe for diabetes. All right, so we know he has diabetes. What has the doctor prescribed? And it's, you know, we could get into insulin and everything else. All right, well, let's go down here, because he says he's taking metformin. So we'll get down here, and he said, okay, he's taking metformin. And do you know the dosage? You could say, well, he's taking 1,000 milligrams per day. That's total. And he's on treatment. So now we have that diabetic. And again, look at that green light comes back on, because now we're adding this medication. So we're going to see who will take it. Great Western will still take it. They're still all right. Well, then he confesses. He says, well, I've been smoking in the last 12 months. Well, okay, let's analyze that. Look how fast this is. Look how fast. You don't have to wait, call your upline, call the carrier. Well, it changed, right? Great Western is still okay, but of course that rate changed, and it's going to give them immediate coverage. But if he happens to drop out of that immediate coverage, he could get graded, and he could even go to guaranteed issue, which is actually, in this case, less money, because they don't ask that height and weight question, than the graded. So you got 3 different programs. Well, I'm not with a Great Western. I have a contract with Aetna. Well, the price isn't a whole lot different, and the guy wants coverage right now. You can do it. All right. But he wants Great Western, again, you can click on Great Western, and there you go. You're going to go right to their website, and you can take that application right then and there. So that's solving the underwriting puzzle. One of the main questions is, hey, you're showing me a great program. Visionary Inc. is a national marketing company. Do I have to send my business through Visionary Inc.? And the answer is no, only unless you want to. So we'll be more than happy to accept your business. You have complete freedom to place business with whomever you want. If you have a contract with, and a relationship with an IMO or two or whatever, far be it from us to change that relationship. You can, if you buy this program, you can write and place business with whomever you want. But we do have 14 contracts of those 59 plus, and this will change from time to time too. We have contracts with 14 of those final expense carriers, and here they are. Okay, and I'm going to show you another screen in a little bit so you can see what's going on. So we do have contracts. Now, we have a bonus program, all right? We call it the Visionary Perks for BPP subscribers, and I'm going to go through that in a second. But I want to show you real quick, as a subscriber, and if you write business with us, we have 14 different carriers. Some of them have more than one program, but here's an example. Let's say you want to write a case and nobody will take it except guaranteed issue, and it fits that guidelines for a guaranteed issue, and you want American General came out okay. Well, your base contract is 80%. And then we're going to pay you a 10% bonus as a subscriber. Again, as a BPP subscriber, we're going to pay you a 10% bonus on the 15th of every month. So if we get paid on, before the 15th, we're paying you. And we've been tracking and paying commissions for years. All right. Now, if you don't want to buy the BPP program, which I'm going to go into details, and it's very inexpensive, you can just do business with us, and we'll run your quotes, and we'll give you, as long as you get the correct information on your client. But these are the highest levels that we can give you without the carrier requiring production. That means if you had anything higher than this, they're going to be hounding you for business, and they all have, if you didn't hit the quota, they could ask for money back. So we're going to give you the highest without them bugging you, plus we're going to pay you some of our bonus level, some of our commission level, because why? We no longer have to do the work because you're doing it. And therefore, it's all the time value of money. Just to show you, this is relatively new. This SBLI Living Legacy Plan is pretty new. They don't ask an MIB. I like that. And they pay commission on issue, not on the draft date. So the policy was issued. The draft date is maybe 15 days from now. You don't have to wait 15 days. They're going to pay you commission. And as a subscriber, you can earn 125% commission. Commissions are important. They are important. However, 100% of zero is zero commissions if you don't place the case. And every time you get a decline or a rate up or whatever, you run the risk of losing business. So it is important to place the right case for your client the first time. And BPP helps you do that. Now, remember, there's carriers that even though it's final expense, if they've been declined, your client's been declined within the last 2 years, they won't write it. So that's another advantage of knowing that. So here's an important question for you. Do you eat fast food, and how often? I was talking to my counterpart, and I said, hey, how many times do you eat fast food a day or a week? And he says, 2-3 times a week, he's, out and about. He wants to grab a sandwich. He doesn't want to cook. Well, so I clicked this on. This is McDonald's. And I said, depending on what state you're in, Big Mac, by the way, Big Mac is the #1 hamburger sold from McDonald's. So Fred's in New Mexico, and this is a Big Mac meal, which includes a medium French fry and a salad or a soft drink. Now, I go to McDonald's a lot. I can't get out of there for, it's got to be around $10. So I don't know where they come up with this, but they do. So it's $6.47. You times that by if you ate once a week, that's $26, $27, if you can actually get through that. Now, if you're in Minnesota, it's $6.65. Well, you know what? I don't eat at McDonald's. I eat at Arby's. Okay, so again, I'm just trying to show you saving, buying this program is going to make you money, not cost you money. So again, here are all the different prices of roast beef meal is $7.43 here. So I just wanted to give you an idea of how that looks. Okay, well, so how did that Big Mac meal once a week make you any money? Okay, didn't make your commissions grow, maybe your waist size, but not money. So I'm going to talk about business expense. I'm going to talk about the fact that anything that you spend as a business, you can write it off. So first of all, I want you to know that the first 1,000 agents only are going to pay $26.50 per month through our exclusive visionary deal. All right, or you can pay $300 a year credit or debit. So there's a little break if you pay annually. Now, the 2022 tax man, he's on his way. So that $300, if you buy it today before the end of the year, you can write that off. Return on investment. I always am interested in return on investment. So again, $26 a month, that's a discount. Regularly $59.99 as a visionary offer. It's $26.50 a month or $300. I always am interested in a return on my investment. So I call it just one case. And again, if you saw those commissions, there were a few carriers that were in that 40, 50, 60% range because they ask no health questions for the most part. All right, and they don't ask any. The easier it is for them to underwrite it, they're just going to get the paperwork, get the money, and offer a policy typically graded. I'm using 75%, which is really truly low, okay, based on what your commission levels you can get. So let's just say that client was going to pay $100 a month. I'm going to use annual. That's $1,200 at 75% commission. Again, I'm only using that as an example. You made $900 on that case that year for the year. Well, let's subtract the cost of doing business at $300. Now again, $300, but remember, it could be less than that depending upon your tax bracket. So you netted $600 on your very first case. Now, what if you just sold a case for $34 a month, $33, $34 a month? You're going to make 75% commission. Again, it's low. That covers your cost for the year. All right, when you think about what you pay for a month for fast food, this is nothing. This is absolutely nothing. Think about the time, the money that was spent in building all of these algorithms to get to making your life easy. And again, the higher your commission level, the easier it is to break even. Commissions will vary based on your contract with the company. Perks, I showed you. If you want to write business, you don't have to, but if you'd like to write business with us, you can, and we're going to pay you a bonus. Let's assume a 20% bonus level, and you paid $300 for this program. Well, if you wrote $1,500 of premium, forget about the base level commission. Just that 20% bonus is $300. Just with the bonus alone, it paid for your system. Not too shabby. Coming soon again, 2.0. What I talked to you about final expense, you're going to be able to underwrite traditional term as well as Medicare supplement. You're in that older age group. You can get quotes for Medicare supplement. That's fantastic. And again, it's not going to cost you any more to add these when they're ready. They should be done in the year 2023, probably the first quarter, if not sooner. There are some traditional carriers available right now. Okay, need more information? Call us, 866-398-8293. Extension 429 is Fred Taberry. He's our National Sales Director. You can email him if you don't have time to call him. You could email underwriting@visionaryinsurance.life. Ask him for more information if you'd like. But like so many, they like it. They know you can use it. You can sign up today. Now, I could fix this, but the URL for paying monthly was huge. So I'm going to just show you what to do. And I'm going to leave this on here. So once you type in this address into your browser, you could pay monthly. If you want to pay annually and get that tax deduction for 2022, you can do that as well. And then once you enter that payment option in your browser, click on the continue sign. So I'm going to show you how this works. So I'm going to pay monthly. So you click on the monthly. It's going to bring up this box. It says continue. That's because I use that shortener. And there you go. We use Stripe. Stripe is a nationally known credit card, debit card company, and it's for $26.50 a month. And you could go ahead and fill in your information. As soon as you get it, we're going to send you our bonus levels and a contract that adheres us to paying you as long as you continue to pay for the subscription. Same thing goes for annual. So I'll leave this on here for a little bit so you could take some time to jot these amounts down. I wanted you to see this. So you could just type it in, https://bit.ly/3ETT51N, and it is case sensitive. So again, on behalf of Fred Taberry and myself, Joe Rasich, I appreciate the time that you took to register for the webinar or want to view this for the first time. Have a great new year, and we look forward to doing business with you in 2023. Thank you.